Welcome back to Cosmoholics Anonymous. I am your favorite girl, Bo Vintage, and today's video is my Basketball Wives review. If you didn't watch my Love and Hip Hop review, then you're probably like, what the hell? How are you just gonna upload this week and not last week? But the fact of the matter is, I did not feel like uploading last week's episodes for any of the shows, so I didn't. And that's just what it is. So the last week's episodes are not gonna go up. Sorry if you came to my channel looking for them and you got disappointed, but I don't know. Basketball Wives was crap. Love and Hip Hop wasn't Love and Hip Hop. It was Jocelyn's delivery special. And the Bad Girls Club reunion was a waste of my time. I didn't even think I watched the whole thing because I was just like, I can't. Like, I just couldn't. So I was just like, no, I didn't have the energy. I've been busy, child. I'm working on Deadbeat Swimwear and stuff. And so, yeah. So, as you guys see, I have not been uploading regularly, which is breaking my little heart. But I'm going to try to push out these videos for you guys. So let's get into Basketball Wives. So in this episode, the opening scene is Jackie meeting up with Kristen and Evelyn. We actually met Kristen in last week's episode. So she's just a new girl. She's younger. And she's been in a relationship with this man for 5 years. I think 5 years. I think that's right. Maybe 7 years. So they meet up for lunch, and like, I know Jackie's a little off, but she called a mimosa a mermosa or a mermosa. Girl, I don't know, but I was just like, no, Jackie, it's called a mimosa, not a mermosa. And I'm just like, how you gonna order something you don't even know what it's called? Like, it literally says it on the menu, mimosa. So I don't know how she messed that up, but she did. Anyway, that's not important. Evelyn actually forgot that she's not able to drink because she is having her IVF treatments, and so because of that, she just, when she's in an IVF cycle, she can't drink or anything like that because it can affect the cycle. And so she's like basically telling them, after she had 3 miscarriages within a year and a half, you know, she's being extra careful with this one because she doesn't think she can take having another one. She wants to have another baby. And so because she shares this information, Kristen then felt, I guess, safe to share the information that she also suffered a miscarriage not too long ago with her man, and it's just been hard to deal with. And so she shared it with Evelyn because she felt as though Evelyn could relate. They both stated that now that they've had miscarriages, there's like a little void in their heart that can't be filled because it was of that baby. Like, once you are pregnant with a child, I guess you just become attached to it immediately, and so that's why they both have this little void there. Kristen actually said she was about 4.5 or 5 months when she miscarried, so she was past that 3-month mark where it's really risky, and she was in, like, she was heading into her 2nd trimester and she still had a miscarriage. So at this point, Jackie starts telling them about the book signing from last week. She went to Tammy's book signing and it was a shit show because she was not invited. Her and Tammy aren't really getting along right now, and she went for a peace offering, but it turned into something really ugly. And so she was just telling them about the event, and she tells them that Tammy basically threatened her because Tammy said, I love Doug, I've known Doug for years, and I respect Doug, and I would never punch his wife in the face. And so that's what happened between Tammy and Jackie. And so she was just telling them that she's pissed that Tammy threatened her, blah, blah, blah. And so Evelyn says, see, that's exactly why I could never be friends with Tammy ever again. Yet, by the end of this episode, they was cool again. And by next week, they're going to be hanging out without Shaunie. So it's just like, bye, Evelyn. See you never. Anyway, Jackie tells them that she wants to do a wine safari. So that's like wine tasting at like African Line Safari. If you guys don't know what African Line Safari is, it's just this little jungle place in Ontario. She invites them, and she says that she's not going to invite Tammy because she doesn't want any negativity there. So in this next scene, Tammy pulls up in a coconut head ass wig, like Ned's the Classified School Survival Guide, child. She was coconut head, child. I said, what is on your head? Take it off now. It was this ugly wig, and then she had the nerve to dye it blonde. I couldn't deal, but she dyed it blonde in the future scenes, unless it's just another wig, the same exact shape, but it is ugly as hell. So her and Shaunie are meeting up, and they are just getting a little snack. I like Basketball Wives for the fact that they actually order food on their little dates. or at least a drink, child. So Tammy does fill her in on the book signing and says that Jackie showed Jackie showed up in a long red trench with a wolf pussy collar. And I was dying because I'm just like, oh my god, not a wolf pussy, child. And so Shaunie actually googled wolf pussy because she's like, that does not exist. Fur did look a little rough, I can't lie. So I wouldn't necessarily call it wolf pussy, but it was a little coarse, okay? But Tammy gets up and she's being extra as per usual, and she starts imitating the walk that Jackie did when she got to the event, and I was dying. I was on the floor, and Shaunie was dying too, as per usual. Like, Shaunie is the type of friend that tries to act like she's neutral, but she really likes some people more than the others, and so she'll allow you to talk shit about that person if she likes them less. She's not a good friend. So she continues to tell Shaunie about the peace offering, and then she tells her that she actually didn't accept it and she left her own book signing. Ratchet behavior from a ratchet ass lady, okay? Once that conversation finished, Shaunie obviously led or eased in to the fact that she wants Evelyn and Tammy to meet up again and try this kumbaya shit one more time. And of course Tammy is saying that Evelyn is the one with the problem, not her. And I'm just like, girl, bye. You guys both have an issue. Own up to it. Fess up to it. Stop trying to make this like a one-sided thing, because it's not. The smartest thing that Shaunie did suggest was that they leave, when they do have this next meetup, that they leave Kenny Anderson's name out of the conversation, because that's old news. Like, we don't need to bring that up ever again. It's old. They're not going to agree. Evelyn doesn't feel as though she was a jump off, and Tammy thinks that she was a jump off and that Evelyn was a hoe. So they're never going to see eye to eye on that, so there's no point in bringing it up. Like, let's agree to disagree type of thing. Surprisingly, Tammy is willing to have one last hurrah at the Evelyn situation. I personally feel like after watching last week's episode and Tammy was trying to say, like, said something along the lines that Evelyn wants to be her, or Evelyn's like been watching her to see what she's up to, and I was just like, no, she has not. Anyway, but yeah, Tammy was trying to say something along the lines of that, and so I personally feel like Tammy wants to be friends with Evelyn, and I already expressed that I thought she was a little bit jealous of Evelyn, but we will see. On the other hand, this is a storyline at the end of the day. For all we know, Shaunie and Evelyn been made up a long time ago before the show even aired, and then they decided to like make a storyline out of it so that they could like, you know what I mean? They run in the same circles. They're probably never really beefing once the show started. In the next scene, Shaunie is now in her car driving to nowhere with Evelyn in her passenger seat, and they're talking about Jackie's safari wine tasting thing, and the conversation was pretty pointless. It was kind of like a filler moment. It wasn't anything relevant. She briefly mentioned Tammy, but she didn't bring up the fact that, or she didn't like have a deep conversation with Evelyn saying that she wants them to rekindle their relationship. She never did that. So yeah, it was just a casual conversation, a little smidge of gossip. It was boring. There was really no point of this scene, in my personal opinion. In this next scene, they actually gave Kristen, so one of the new cast members, and her man a scene together alone with nobody else there, and I thought that their relationship was cute. She wants to be engaged because they've been together for however many years, or she wants to get married because they've been together for however many years. I feel that, child. But he doesn't seem that he is down, and so I don't know. They already have one kid, and they had a miscarriage for their second child, but I liked their dynamic. I felt like they were like best friends first. They had that, you know, that cute kind of relationship. So I like them so far. He was just being really like sappy, I guess, and he was just expressing his love for her and just telling her like she's an amazing woman and all that good stuff that you want to hear from your man. So yeah, that scene was also a filler scene. It wasn't anything major. I want to know if these two are gonna have any tea for us. Hopefully not, because that would just suck. for them, not for the TV show, but for them it would. So this next scene, it is the day of the wine safari that Jackie is hosting. It's basically wild animals, wine, and cheese. Those are 3 of Jackie's favorite things. Oh, let me go back to the scene with Shaunie and Evelyn in the car. Let me go back there for a second before I get into this actual safari thing. Evelyn made a comment about Jackie being the type of woman to be okay with putting peanut butter on her coochie and letting a dog lick it off. And I was just like, ew. Like, ew. I couldn't believe Evelyn said it, but I was just like, Jackie might be that type of crazy. And when we get to this scene now with the wild animals, I felt as though that was confirmed. But, you know, to each their own, child. I ain't with the bestiality like, no. No, ma'am. All of Jackie's newfound friends are too young for her, okay? All these randoms from LA, I don't know if they're looking for a check or come up what, I don't know. They're not in the intro of Basketball Wives, and they probably never will be. But Jackie has brought a bunch of new girls that are like 20 years younger than her, and these are her friends. I'm just like, Jackie, find friends your own age. But the joke is that even though her friends are younger than her, she is the most immature woman on the show. And even if Jackie is, I don't know how old she is, 50 something, 60 something, child, even if she is that old, she does not act it. And I totally get why she tries to hang out with the younger people, but like, it just looks weird to me. And to me, it's weird that they're hanging out with her, but I feel like they would only hang out with her because they know they can go and be on Basketball Wives. So watch your back, Miss Christie. So Evelyn makes a comment in her confessional that Kristen's biker shorts look like she was just wearing Spanx, child. And I don't know, but that seems to be in these days. I seen Kim and Chloe wearing just lingerie outside, child. I said, no ma'am, that don't look right with the damn body shapes, okay? So yeah. But at the wine tasting event, they hadn't even started to see the animals yet, and Jackie was already on her 4th glass of wine. But that was probably because the cheese was no bueno and the grapes were warm. They were complaining about that. They gave them hard cheese. She claimed she had a caterer. No, that shit looked like she bought it at the supermarket. You know when you get like a platter of cheese and fruit at the supermarket? That's exactly what that shit looked like. She didn't have no caterer. I don't know why Jackie's trying to act like she mad bougie when she's not. Anyway, once all the girls get there, for some reason they start talking about the grapes, and Jackie is asking them if they've ever put a grape in between their titties and went like this and had their man eat the grape. And I was like, what? Like, who does that? Why are there grapes in the bedroom? Like, strawberries, I can understand. And I don't mean strawberries between your titties. I could just understand strawberries in the bedroom. But grapes? Anyway, she was talking about squeezing grapes and popping grapes with her titties. I said, Lord Jesus, help me, please. Like, Jackie honestly wears me out. Like, oh my gosh. Imagine the show was just about Jackie and her life. Like, I couldn't handle it. Shaunie takes Evelyn to the side to give her the Tammy speech once again. She wants to make sure that that Evelyn's on board with meeting up with Tammy. And Evelyn states that she wants an apology from Tammy. Shaunie asks her for what? And Evelyn basically says for calling her a bitch and a hoe. I would want an apology too for the hoe part. Not the bitch part, because I'd be like, facts. But the hoe, yes. Okay? You're not gonna call me a hoe. Especially if I'm not a hoe. But Evelyn, I don't know. Anyway, even though she wants an apology from Tammy, she doesn't feel as though she owes Tammy an apology for anything. Which I kind of agree with. But I mean, I feel like the best way for them to just throw this away or to like move on is if they both apologize to each other, because they both at this point feel they need apologies. The only thing is, Tammy said that Evelyn went on an interview and said bad things about her, but then when she pulled up the interview, there was no negative things said. So I'm just like, she doesn't really owe her an apology if that's what she wanted an apology for, because it wasn't facts. Tammy done made shit up in her head like Miss Jackie Christie. So finally the tour guides come and they have them ride in this like little trailer thing that goes around to see all the animals in the park. Jackie is too damn drunk, okay? I don't know if it's because she knew the GoPro was right there on the thing to film her, because she had a GoPro right in her face. I don't know if that's why she was being extra, but she kept like, woo, oh my god, like she was just being so extra, but she was mad drunk, so whatever. Jackie's always drunk. Ugh. Like, how does a grown woman get that drunk? You know what I mean? Like, especially off of wine, like, you would think that at that age she wouldn't drink so much, especially not in public. Like at home, okay, whatever, get drunk. But like in public, you don't need to be that drunk. So finally they get to their celebrity, or the famous animal in the park, and his name is Stanley the giraffe. And I don't know why, but I automatically thought of Toys R Us. I can't remember the Toys R Us's giraffe's name, but I feel like it might be Stanley or Jeff. I don't know. Y'all let me know what the giraffe's name is. Yeah, the tour guide tells them that Stanley will actually eat lettuce out of their mouth, and he's very friendly and he comes up to people and he's cool. He's a cool ass long necked giraffe. And so Jackie was obviously the first to want to put the lettuce in her mouth and have the giraffe take the lettuce from her mouth, because giraffes actually have tongues that are 13 inches long. It's a weird fact that I know, you know. I'm one of those people that think that that's common knowledge, but I feel like it might not be. So if you didn't know, now you know. You learn something new every day. Hi. Yeah, giraffes have 13-inch long tongues, and so they gave them like a long piece of romaine lettuce, and they were able to, what was it, iceberg? Don't quote me. I think iceberg, no, iceberg is the small one, right? Who cares? Either way, yeah. They gave them a long piece of romaine lettuce and they put it in their mouth, and then Stanley would take it from them. When I was watching the scene, and this is the scene that made me feel like, okay, maybe Jackie would put peanut butter on her pussy. Because I just felt like she wanted to make out with the giraffe. Like she was so intrigued by the long tongue, and like I felt like she wanted to put the lettuce deeper into her mouth so that the giraffe's tongue would like lick her lips. Like that's how I felt watching the scene. I was uncomfortable, okay, but that's neither here nor there. Next, Jackie meets up with the one and only Malaysia part. Go Henty. I love me some Malaysia. I think we all do. Her body is on pizzoint. Okay, she's banging, shabanging. Okay, she looks freaking amazing, and yeah, she's back. She said that because she's been away for a little bit, if you come to LA, the first thing you need to do is meet up with Jackie, because Jackie will give you all the tea in the world. And she was not lying, okay? They had to edit Jackie's clip, because you know what? You know when, like in a movie, say the person's sitting in class and their teacher's talking, but their teacher's just rambling, and they edit it to where the students are like falling asleep on the desk, but like they're like, the teacher's rambling and then it fades out, and then the teacher is talking about another thing, and then it fades out and the teacher's talking about another thing, and it's just going and going and going. That's basically how they edited Jackie in this scene, and I was dying. So Malaysia tells her that she's moving to Atlanta, and I was like, oh my god, is she gonna be on Real Housewives? Because I would die. But she's not a housewife, so I don't know if she can be on Real Housewives. Then again, neither is Kenya Moore, so I don't know what's happening with Malaysia, but there must be something in Atlanta for her to be going there. Jackie practically begged her to come to Atlanta with her, and she's like, you can visit, and she's like, no, like I want to come and stay and work for you, work with you. And Malaysia was letting her down real easy, telling her, no ma'am, no sir, no thank you, you will stay your ass wherever. She's like, no, you have to be with Doug, blah blah blah. And she was just like, no, Doug's on the road, blah 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 blah, or Doug's coaching. And she was making up 101 reasons why she needs to go to Atlanta with Malaysia. Like, why are you trying to cling on to younger women, Jackie? Please find somebody your own age, go to a knitting class, go play bingo, do something, but stop trying to like latch onto these people, because you can only take Jackie in small doses. Imagine we had to be on the show, you guys, and deal with Jackie in real life. I can't even deal with her through the screen. How the hell does Malaysia do it? I need to know. So then the waiter comes to bring Malaysia her drink, and she is in heat, and she's flirting with this little Latino man heavily, okay? She is flirting with him to the point where I was just like, she gonna have sex with him right here, because I couldn't deal. She was just like, you're cute. Like, I was like, what is going on? Oh my gosh. In her confessional, she said that her love life is on 0. It's not popping at all. It's drier than dry, okay? She needs some love. And she also states that she was talking to somebody, or she was in a relationship with somebody, but it didn't work out. If you didn't know, and because I know all things, the person that she was referring to, because she did not say, is OT Genesis. If you don't know who OT Genesis is, and you go search him, you're gonna be like, Malaysia? Why? Okay, because you could do way better. Malaysia is the bombest of the bomb, okay? I don't know why she was talking to OT Genesis. Maybe he's a nice guy, but nigga nah. Okay, just no. OT Genesis is a rapper, and he's the guy that sings, I'm in love with the coco. Okay, he got it for the Lolo child. That's who OT Genesis is. I was like, why is she running around town with that boy? Like, so before Jackie starts spilling the tea to Malaysia, she tells Malaysia she better take a gulp of her damn drink because it is a lot to take in. When she starts to spill the tea to Malaysia, she literally starts from beginning of season to that episode to fill her in on everything that's happened between everybody. Like, she told, I don't know how Jackie knew everybody's business, but Jackie is the Carly Red of this show. She know everything. And so she was spilling all the tea. She spilled the tea with Evelyn. She spilled the tea with Tammy. She spilled Shaunie tea. And I don't even think Shaunie has tea to be spilled, but she did. And lastly, she tells her that she is ready to move forward with Tammy. But when she got to the drama with Evelyn, Tammy, and herself, Malaysia basically checked her on it and said that she should have never have said Tammy's name when she was talking to Evelyn. So Malaysia definitely on Tammy's side in that respect. She's saying that she should never have she should have just left Tammy's name out of it. But that's how Jackie is. Jackie always is. She's name tell. She's a tattletale. That's how it goes. And so it is what it is. So in this next scene, Shaunie is going to be Miss Peacemaker with Tammy and Evelyn. Off bat, it's intense because when Evelyn gets there, she's like, is it safe? And Tammy obviously took offense to this right away, and she's like, what's that supposed to mean? I am concerned about my safety. And I was just like, here we go. Like, they're so petty, it's annoying. I thought that being petty was all fun and games, but I think that your petty should, you know, there should be an age limit on petty, because these bitches is too old, like, to be this petty. So Shaunie mentions the fact that this is about to be a grown conversation, and Evelyn says, well, I feel as though my last conversation was grown. And once again, Tammy gets pressed, and she's just like, are you trying to say that my conversation was not grown? And Evelyn's like, well, basically, because you were calling people bitches and hoes and blah blah blah. So Tammy tries to say that she barely used any curse words. She's like, I said bitch and hoe. And so she's basically trying to say that these are not curse words. She says, okay, bitch is a curse word, but hoe is not. And so Evelyn's like, you certainly weren't talking about a gardening tool, so yes, it is a curse word. Or it's not a nice word or something like that. And I was just like, are you guys really going to do this right now? This is why I'm sitting here watching this? And then Tammy actually had the nerve in her confessional to say that she could have called Evelyn worse. And I was just like, oh, okay. Weren't you just saying that you were being grown? Because I'm not getting that vibe right now. Like, as this conversation is going on, Tammy is getting more and more irate, and she's basically saying, well, I called her a bitch because I didn't want to talk about a man that I was married to in 1994. That's why she called her a bitch. And I was just like, okay, this is too much for me. I just can't. After she said this, she clearly would storm out to go have a smoke. So of course Shaunie runs behind her. I actually thought Tammy was leaving. I didn't think she was just going out to have a cigarette, but she was just having a smoke to cool down. And so Shaunie follows behind her to be the mediator that she's supposed to be today. They both say that the whole name calling thing is petty and it's stupid because they all call each other names all the time. And I guess that's kind of true. I mean, Evelyn called her a non-motherfucking factor and she called Evelyn a bitch. So it's just like, I guess you guys are even. even if it wasn't in the same season. Y'all's even. So then Shaunie asks Tammy if she has an issue, any other issue. So Tammy tells her what her issue is. Her main issue is that Evelyn just wasn't honest from jump, which we already knew. Once they go back inside, Shaunie actually ends up speaking on behalf of Tammy because Tammy can't. And to me, I was a little annoyed by this because I'm just like, you are 50 years old. Like, how are you gonna have somebody else speaking for you? Like, why can't you just be rational and have a conversation? But it was for the better. So once Shaunie speaks for her, Evelyn takes it upon herself to give an apology. And Tammy doesn't say anything. So then Shaunie and Evelyn are looking at her like, is this bitch crazy? Like, hello, say something. And so Shaunie's like, Tammy. And she was just like, what? And I was just like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I think she has selective hearing. I have selective hearing, but I think she has selective hearing. And so she's like, Evelyn just apologized to you. She's like, I didn't hear I'm sorry. Evelyn most definitely said, I'm sorry. She said something in the beginning, and then at the last thing she said was, I'm sorry. To not make this any more awkward than it already was, Evelyn was just like, do you want to say it at the same time? And they agreed, and they both said, I'm sorry. And then it was like, it was old times all over again. Like, it was just, I don't know, scripted AF maybe? That whole thing was childish to me. I'm just like, really? You guys have to apologize at the same time because Tammy decided she didn't want to hear properly the first time Evelyn said sorry. So Evelyn actually apologized twice. And it was just like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Like, it was just ridiculous. During the scene, I actually laughed because I was just like, I can't believe they're this immature. Finally, in the conversation, they bring up the whole Jackie information, the whole Jackie thing. And of course, this is just going to be a whole other drama because Jackie's not here, and let's drag this storyline out even more. So Tammy once again lies and claims that she didn't like wake up and was pressed to see what Evelyn has been up to. That's never been the case. But bitch, it was. Like, that's what it was. Like, let's just keep it a buck because that's what you did. And so when she said this, they once again play that tape back of her telling Jackie that Evelyn said that she was a despicable mother or whatever. And they also showed the same clip of her pulling out her reading glasses and whipping out her phone to look on the blogs to find the comment, but then she couldn't find it at the time that they were sitting there because it had been so far down. And so, yeah, you did wake up and you did decide to go out of your way to make Evelyn look bad. You did do that, so let's not act like you didn't. And this is another reason why we can say Shaunie is a bad friend, because Shaunie is the executive producer of the show. She's not the editor, but she definitely would have say in what goes into the show and what doesn't. And they're definitely making Tammy look like a whole asshole right now. I would be pissed off if I was Tammy. And Tammy actually did go on a rant about editing after the second episode, but it is what it is. You know you're being recorded. Be careful what you say. During this conversation, Evelyn falls for the BS, and Tammy basically made Jackie look like the crazy one, even though Jackie is crazy. But like we said a couple weeks ago, in this situation in particular, the messy person here is most definitely Tammy, and it is not Jackie. To me, this scene seems so fake because I'm just like, how you guys keying all of a sudden? Like, even if we were tight or we were cool and then we fell out and we didn't talk for a certain amount of time and then we started talking again, I'm not gonna be like mad cool with you on the first day after we just had our kumbaya moment. You know, it's gonna take a little bit of time for us to build up, and that's why I say this part of the whole shit is scripted. So in the last and final scene, the final boss, Jackie meets up with Shaunie now. Shaunie has a lot of airtime this season, child. I'm like over her. I'm just like, I want to see Malaysia. You know, I want to see Brandy because I don't really care for Brandy, but because Malaysia and Brandy together are cool, then I like their duo. But other than that, I don't really give a shit. But yeah, I want to see the younger girls. Like, I'm not here for these old biatches. And guess what? Nobody on the show at this point except for Jackie is married and is a basketball wife. Like, it doesn't make any sense that the show is even called that. Like, ugh. Yeah, they meet up and Jackie tells Shaunie that she is concerned because she heard through the grapevine that Evelyn and Tammy are now cool. And she doesn't like that because now she feels left out. Which I totally understand. But it's just, at the same time, it's just like, Jackie, you are 50-something, 60-something, child, 80. Like, why are you pressed about this? Like, there's so many other things going on in the world. You're feeling left out at your age? What do you mean? Go knit. Like, this is why I say I can only handle her in small doses. But anyway, she just doesn't want to feel like or look like the bad guy. So Shaunie tells her the bare minimum. She doesn't want Jackie to know too many details about how the conversation went. She tries to downplay it and tries to say that it wasn't like old times immediately. Yes, it was. Right after they made up, they started giggling and laughing and doing this and that and the third, and it was like nothing was ever wrong. She tells her that even though her name did get brought up, the conversation was not based around her. And so Jackie still is not feeling that because she's just like, at the end of the day, I wasn't there to defend myself. And that I can totally understand. If there's a conflict between three people, all three parties should be there. And so at this point, Shaunie is telling Jackie she feels as though there needs to be another sit down so that them two ladies can talk to Jackie. Jackie refuses. She says hell no because they ain't got shit to say to her. They shouldn't have shit to say to her. Like, she didn't do anything wrong. I kind of agree with her. Like, all she did was, well, she did things wrong, but in regards to the situation with her and Evelyn and Tammy, she hasn't done anything wrong in that respect. Tammy told her information about what was going on the blogs and saying, quoting things that Evelyn didn't even say back to Jackie, and then expected Jackie not to go and confirm those things with Evelyn. And so I'm just like, no. So I agree with Jackie in some, in some areas that she didn't do anything wrong in the situation. She wanted to get to the bottom of who was talking mess about her, and so that's what she did. In my opinion, I felt as though Shaunie was being a little bit secretive, too secretive, about the little peace treaty that was going on. The reason is obviously because she wants to keep Jackie calm and level-headed, because once Jackie is irate, she's just crazy. Oh. Bless me. Oh, we have. So by the end of this conversation, Jackie was telling Shaunie to make sure she tells Evelyn and Tammy that she's hurt. She feels, she said 3 words. I can't remember what all 3 words were, but she said she was hurt and pissed off about their Ponderosa, and she needs to have a Ponderosa of her own with them. And that was basically the episode, and I was just like, okay. And so next week it's gonna be some shit, and we will see what happens then. But yeah, I still have to upload the other Botox, so stay tuned for that this week, child. But other than that, I love you all, and I will definitely see you in the next one.